News alert now because there's new action on Obamacare on the Hill. We're waiting to hear enrollment numbers in just a few minutes. Meantime, there are some changes, like making it more affordable by offering a so-called copper plan, a new lower-cost, high-deductible health care option that will spur competition. They also, this group of Democrats, want to allow states to be able to sell health insurance across state lines. Plus, expand the option for voluntary coverage for businesses with fewer than 100 workers. Right now, I believe it's for 50. And they want to make enrollment easier by allowing folks to sign up directly with insurance companies. One of the Democrats behind this new proposal, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, and he joins me now. Great to see you, Senator.
Good to be with you, Gretchen. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. So there's a lot that this group of senators, all Democrats in red states, all up for re-election, putting together into this new plan, except for you. So tell me exactly what the copper plan is, because to me, it sounds a lot like the catastrophic plans that people lost because of Obamacare, that the president actually called bad apples at one point in time.
Well, you know, the bottom line is, I've said from day one, we have to fix it. Repair it. We've got to have insurance and we've got to have people healthier, but they have to be responsible too. But we can't force products into the market where the market's not going to accept them. And that's what was happening. And I've always said it'll take a year or so to sort this out. There's a transitional year is what we should have. We have some moderate, reasonable people who have sat down, and we think we have an awful lot of our Republican colleagues that'll join us on this and these responsible changes now. And that's what we're hoping for. The copper plan is just basically we've had the gold, the silver, and the bronze. Now we have the copper plan, which gives a younger person who basically is healthier and is living a healthier lifestyle a chance to have something more affordable.
And I guess you also are hoping that more young people will sign up, because that has been a challenge through the beginning of Obamacare.
There has to be, Gretchen, if we can just get the administration to understand, you have to give incentives and rewards, basically. Give a person a reason, give them a discount, or give them a reason to sign up earlier. Don't say if you don't sign up by this day, you'll be penalized. We've moved every date possible, and it should have been a transition. Myself and Mark Kirk had the only bipartisan bill to start with 6 months ago. So we're getting people together now. This is a group of senators from the Democratic side working, and we'll be working with our colleagues on the Republican side, that we said, let's fix it. Let's repair it. Let's fix it, make it work.
I think a lot of the struggles with Obamacare have come from people who own small businesses. And one of the mandates that if you had 50 or more employees, that you were forced into, going into these health care plans. One of the tenets of your bill changes that dramatically, right?
Yeah, it does. And you know what? This is just responsible. You're listening to the market now, and the market should dictate, which is what we've always said. And then we'll adjust basically what we can and figure out what we can afford. You know, this thing was done to the point where they pushed what they pushed. I wasn't here when it happened. But the bottom line is, I've always said, let's repair it. Let's take what building blocks we all agree on and let's repair it. Now we're finding things we want to change. There's also, Gretchen, an important issue. When a husband and wife works for the same company, rather than having the 29 hours or 30 hours and you didn't have to cover you, now you can lump the amount of time your husband and wife together so they have a full-time coverage.
Well, and that's important because a lot of employers were considering cutting people's hours because, they didn't want to fall into these mandates. I got to ask you this, though, Senator. Have you talked to Senator Reid, and have you talked to the White House about this? Because Senator Harry Reid, I don't know, is he going to bring this to the floor?
Well, Senator Reid, I believe, understands quite well that there needs to be changes, and that if you can't meet the deadlines, you know really that the consumer's not willing to accept the product. So we're trying to, basically change the product.
Is he going to bring it to the floor, though? Is he going to bring it to the floor? Have you spoken to him?
I think we have spoken to him. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We have spoken to Harry about, and the leadership, that there needs to be substantial changes, and these are good, honest, qualified changes that need to happen. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't. But
what about the White House? Have you spoken? I know you met with President Obama and you've been in constant dialogue, but is the White House signing off on this?
I think you must have me confused with somebody else.
Well, there were a group of Democrats who went and spoke to the president about the Obamacare challenges that they were facing and what they were hearing from their constituents. So I'm just wondering if the White House has signed off on this bill.
Well, I can't answer that. I really can't answer. I would hope they would look at the reasonable changes we're trying to make that fits the American public. People do want health care, but they want affordable health care. They like to keep what they have. They like to be able to stay healthy. They like to be able to have incentives and rewards. We're trying to do bringing people together. We've been fighting long enough. We've been separating people long enough. And Democrats and Republicans need to come together as Americans and fix the health care that we that basically that we need in this country.
All right, so the bill, you believe Senator Harry Reid will bring it to the floor. We will keep a close eye on this. And
Please
Senator
do.
Joe Manchin, we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gretchen.